I hope you enjoyed that. But it presents us with a question. Are we, as a local church, just going to resign ourselves to the national statistics of declining church attendance and just hide behind these walls? Or are we going to do something about it? Is the project, is the reordering, a means of actually saying, with the bigger picture, we need to do something and do it all together? The first step, though, is to take down the barriers in our minds. That's how that clip ended. It means being open to what God is saying to us. And that means being prepared to think big, to dream dreams about what this church could be with God's help in the days to come. But let's take a step at a time and do so with faith and with prayer as we complete the reordering and renewal of this church. Now, I love the Chinese proverbs that say, and let me just show you them here. First of all, that first one I'm sure we'll be familiar with. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But I also love that other one there that is perhaps lesser known but just as poignant for us tonight. Be not afraid of going slowly, be only afraid of standing still. These are the words I believe our church of today needs to hear. Bishop Graham Cray has recently said, change is not to be feared, it's an opportunity provided by the Holy Spirit, who is the church's overall leader in mission. Now, when I was ordained some 26 years ago now, the church and its standing in society was very different to what we find ourselves today. And I'm sure that many of you will have experienced these changes too. So as we reflect back, then, most churches were very much in the centre and the cut and thrust of local community life. And so much of their outreach, of their evangelism, was done naturally through the many pastoral contacts that they had. We also know, and we've seen the difference of the influence of Christendom that seems so much stronger 26 years ago. And that many who didn't come to church regularly still had some idea of what the Christian faith is all about. And then also we know that then many people still came to church for their baptisms, weddings, funerals. They didn't have the choices we have now. And combine that with the fact that then, on Sundays, there weren't the many attractions there are now. So we know that church attendances were greater for a variety of those reasons. All in all, things were very different. And I'll always remember, at the time, a past bishop of Chichester now, saying this, that in those days it took a particularly inept vicar to empty a church. Now, you could argue, 26 years later, it takes an exceptional vicar to prevent decline. Things have changed so much in our country and the life of the church. So what are we going to do? Well, in the parish profile that you wrote when you were looking for your new rector, it was stated how you were seeking someone who would be an ambassador for the completion of our church building project and the opening up of the church as a 7 days a week centre in the heart of Prince's Risborough. And then under the team profile that was also provided, as we're part of a team, so it was stated that this person needs to be able to build on past initiatives and inspire new ones, and have the ability to prioritise and enthuse others. Well, this step, as we know, has already been taken. And so here standing before you tonight is your new rector. So well done those with that process. And I must say that when Joe and I came here on interview, afterwards, as we were leaving Princess Risborough, we both said in the conversation, you know those conversations in the car on the way back from somewhere, and we had one of those conversations, we said how it, for both of us, it felt like coming home. Now that was partly due to the wonderful welcome that people gave us on that day, and which we are good at. But it was also because of the peace that God gave, that we had prayed for that peace, that he would make clear which was going to be the next step for us to take. And so it felt like coming home. But now my prayer is that as we take these next vital steps together to complete this project, so when we come back into a newly reordered church, we will all feel as if we are coming home. That we're stepping into the church that God is calling us to be.